A ninth principle that Jesus demonstrated in his earthly sojourn in leadership is the fact that servant leadership is a sacrificial commitment. You truly cannot be a servant leader if you are not willing to be able to give the sacrifice that is required to substantiate your servant leadership. Many people mouth the platitude, mouth the desire. I mean, we've had people who call themselves servant leaders, and they are everything but servants. A servant leader is somebody, like the word says, who leads through service, who demonstrates leadership by exceptional commitment, sacrificial commitment, increasing dimensions of self-committal in order to ensure that a particular program or event or whatever is brought to bear. So you can't be a servant leader. Jesus showed that you've got to be sacrificial. Sacrifice of opportunities, sacrifice sometimes of honor, sacrifice of privileges, sacrifice of many things, sometimes of friends who consider you crazy. The reason why the religious elite of his days, the Sanhedrin, the scribes, the zealots, the Pharisees, could not hobnob with Jesus was because he was not ready to toe their path of leadership. He came with a different philosophy and mindset. He came as a servant leader to serve the people by being with the people, hearing the people, and being with them. So you can't do that and at the same time be on the other end of the tangent. It doesn't work. You have to choose where you've got to be. So the sacrifice of certain things in order to make certain things happen is what makes a servant leader. And Jesus was simply an exceptional example in that dimension. He showed clearly in his entire service that he was here to serve, and serve he would to the very last breath of his life on the earth. A 10th and very significant principle we can see about the ministry of Jesus that demonstrated his exceptional leadership is that any purpose not worth dying for is truly not worth living for. If what you want to give your life to is not worth your commitment to that degree, then it possibly is not worth it in the first place. Because until something becomes worthy of dying for, then it is not worthy of living for. And Jesus showed that, perhaps better than any other human being that has ever lived. He was ready to surrender his life to the point of his conviction and assignment. That is what makes him an exceptional leader. When people come into power, into positions of responsibilities, and for pressures or for the dictates of all kinds of people, they succumb, they give in to whatever be the pressures or dilution or attempt to divert their energies from their predetermined purpose, then such people have lost their edge in leadership. Because what makes you exceptional in leadership is your ability to take a stand at whatever cost, no matter what is going to demand of you and from you, and to stick to your gun and pursue it to the logical conclusion. Not capitulating, not caving in or giving in or resigning, not surrendering to the whims and the caprices and the shifting times and seasons that we are all subjected to. Jesus not only came, he gave his life for the purpose for which he came, and established once and for all with a very strong sense, that any purpose not worth dying for is truly not worth living for.